So I was looking on Facebook Marketplace for a snowboard, or like because mates were going skiing on the hills, and I was like, I want to get a new board, and then messaged some guy, and this guy was Tom, who was the guy that took us around for the races. So
because this is the guy you van lifed it with, basically. Yeah.
So all just from buying a snowboard. It's always your childhood dream, isn't it, to have your name on the side of a van? It's pretty cool. But, never taken seriously. At the races, we go with mates, and we didn't really know what we were doing. It worked out. We were just having fun on the bike, and not really racing it. It was more just weekend with your mates.
Yeah.
If you like ride something and you're sort of dead in this corner, you must have missed a high, or you might see something in the corner of your eye. So if it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't right.
Okay. Alex Storr, welcome to the Downtime podcast, man. Thanks for making the trip over to, not quite so sunny today, Llangollen.
No, yeah, thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure.
It's a cool place.
Yeah, it's a nice spot. I'm guessing you spend quite a lot of time riding here, eh?
Well, yeah, the riding here is next level, so yeah, you got a good location.
Yeah,
good.
Pretty lucky, man. Well, yeah, let's start at the start. You've not been on the podcast before, so we'll get a bit of background. Do you remember learning to ride a bike?
I wouldn't say learning, but I just remember being on a bike pretty much all my life.
Yeah.
All started off trials, really.
Okay.
Since I was like 5.
Yeah.
I was on a little trials bike, rev and go.
Nice. Motorbike trials.
Motor trials, this is. But then Mum always says I was on pedaling away when I was about 2.
No way.
On a little bike, but I can't remember that. But
fair play. You started pedaling early then, eh?
Yeah, I think so. I think watched my older sister.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to do that.
Nice. How old's your big sister?
She's 3 years older than me. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. So you the second child?
Yeah, I'm middle and got a younger brother.
Yeah. Is that Sam?
That's Sam. That's right.
He also rides, yeah?
Yeah, he rides. Yeah, he loves it. So.
Nice. Cool.
It's good.
Very good, man. And the influence from the motor trials, that was from your father, was it?
Yeah, Dad did the exact same. He had all his TY80s, his Fantics, and still got an old twin shot now. Loves it.
Excellent. Good stuff. And were you competing then in the motor trials side of things? Was that something you wanted to do or something your dad wanted you to do?
Oh, it was always me. Dad never pushed me, but if I wanted to do it, we were doing it. So yeah, did that. I think as soon as I started riding, we was little local trials around here, so it's a good scene.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, so it's always just been trials.
Yeah. And how far did you go with that then? You've had some pretty solid results on the trials side of things, yeah?
Yeah, always. It went pretty far on the 125. We did the British Nationals and just stayed in the country, but always on 125. Went to 300, but that sort of transitioned then to mountain biking.
Yeah, okay. Fair play. Yeah. The mountain bike took over eventually. And you were lucky enough to have a school that had a mountain bike, you basically did mountain bike lessons with school, is that right?
Not like lessons, but after school we'd go ride the local trail centre, and that's pretty much how it started.
Wicked.
How I pretty much found mountain biking.
Yeah. So did they have a fleet of bikes then?
Yeah, just these hardtails, and I thought they were the best things ever. They had hydraulic brakes and forks that worked. So we hired them out after school. Every Thursday we'd go up to Llandegla.
That's so cool.
With all the mates, and it was...
Yeah, so the school owned the bikes, or the school hired the bikes in, do you know?
Yeah, they had a sort of... I think they had a bit of a deal with a shop, and they got the bikes in.
Sweet.
So yeah, they were kept in school for us to use. Their bikes.
Yeah, and you just go up to Llandegla with...
Yeah, a little trailer on the back of the minibus, and we'd cruise up. Yeah,
that's wicked. Was it love at first pedal then?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
All your mates, and we'd just be always so competitive, and who can pedal up fastest and who can go down.
So they weren't teaching you necessarily. It was more just about getting out on the bikes after school, like a club kind of thing.
Yeah, club. It was never from what we would do, like bike maintenance skills and stuff, and what to pack, but it was never riding, coaching sort of things. So.
Okay, cool. And did you find then that you were naturally better on a bike than a lot of the other kids, or?
Pretty much, yeah. That's just from trials.
Yeah. You got that balance, I guess.
Yeah, it translates so easy over. So
yeah, and a familiarity on 2 wheels. I suppose that's the main thing. You know how a 2-wheeled thing moves, works. Even though a hardtail's gonna be a lot lighter than a motor trials bike, but
yeah. Well, I always had a trials cycle push bike.
Oh, okay.
So I'd be on that after school on the curbs every night.
Nice.
And then it was just the speed bit, which is this is good.
And so before you started mountain biking with school, did you come across it in media and stuff? Have you seen maybe trials rides, Martin Ashton, people like that? Yeah,
I've always can't really remember seeing the whole racing side of it, but I've seen Martin, Danny Mac, and all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
I think I was all just trials. I had all the magazines. It was trials. And then when I found mountain biking through school, it was pretty much all in from there. Yeah.
What was it about mountain biking then that was better to you than the motorbike trial side of things, do you think?
I wouldn't say better. It was like they just both came in hand. The bit of trials I always liked most was in between the sections.
Okay.
So you could sort of go flat out.
Yeah.
And get to this section. Like the first lap, you have to walk all the sections. That was a bit. But then when you could do all the next ones just flat out, not having to get off the bike.
Okay. So
that's the best part. Yeah, it was always the speed part. So don't know if it was that pulling down a hill on a bike.
It makes sense. I think that's what, like, most people that get into sort of gravity oriented biking, like they got a bit of a thing for speed. I think it'd be unusual not to have it.
No, exactly.
For sure. So how did you go then, progressing from like riding a school hired hardtail to getting your first full suspension bike?
Just like local jobs, car washing. Saved up to get my first full sus, and then
what was it?
It was Giant Trance.
Ah, nice. Yeah, okay.
Pretty like stock spec, but
yeah,
it was at the time the best thing ever. Remember changing it to one by drivetrain and putting a dropper on, and
how wicked.
Yeah, it's good.
How old would you have been then?
16.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so like just coming up to the end of high school.
Yeah. And was it again natural for you to want to go race that thing?
Yeah, but then didn't really know how to race, where to race.
Yeah.
And then Mum found, I think, on Facebook the Welsh Enduro Series. So
perfect. Yeah.
Just up the road, we went and did that.
Yeah, and you worked your way up pretty quick. I checked your results on the old Roots and Rain. 5th at the first round you did, 3rd at the second, and won the 3rd round you did. Like, do you remember that progression? Was it just a learning thing?
Yeah, I think once I got 5th, I was like, it's like, then there's a lot of names below you. I was like, this could stick at this, and we did it. And then but never taken seriously. At the races, we go with mates, and we didn't really know what we were doing, but it worked out. We were just having fun on the bike, and not really racing. It was more just weekend with your mates.
Yeah, and a cool series to have, like,
really cool. Just got back from the first round on the weekend.
Yeah, you won,
Folgasnacht,
yeah, good work, man.
So that was cool.
Is Folgas? Do you know if Folgasnacht's open again, like, to the public, or?
I think after storm damage a couple of years ago, it was shut. But I think Steve's got a good team there now, and he's trying to get it open again.
Sweet, yeah, it was a good spot. I've not ridden there for a few years. Like,
it's really good. Yeah, I'd recommend.
Excellent, good stuff, man. So that was 2017, I think. That sort of first year of enduro racing.
Yeah.
Through 18 and 19, you raced quite a lot of more Welsh enduro. You raced some British nationals. When did you start thinking about getting to some international racing?
I think it was after racing a couple of the British rounds and speaking to them boys. They're always seen on their socials they were going away riding on these big hills, and I was like, that's cool. Good. That's what I want to do. So I think I remember actually buying my entries for the Enduro World Series without having any idea of how to get there. I just bought my entries. That's one step closer.
Yeah, I'm doing it. We'll sort the problem out later.
Yeah. So just from the British, seeing that.
Interesting. So did COVID kind of get in the way for you, or was it a bit of an enabler to get ready to go do that? When were you planning to go, and how does that all fit with that pandemic year?
I wouldn't say COVID got in the way. It was more COVID's what got me to ride every day.
Yeah. Okay.
I think like from riding all day, even summer, it just progressed massively.
Yeah. Fitness and technical.
Yeah. We built. All the boys just met up in local forest, and we just built so many tracks. I think that helped massively. And then because the following year, where there's double headers.
Yeah.
So it worked out well to get to the races.
Yeah.
Because you could do more at one place. So
nice. How did you fund that season then? Because you were basically a privateer at that point, yeah? Yeah,
I was just working, and luckily parents help out, so can't thank them enough. But just working at local, my mates like CNC place, and just cash in hand jobs, just trying to
doing as much as you can.
Build up as much as you can, stacking shelves, and so I bought the entries and
then worked out how to get there.
It's a funny one again. So I got the entries, and then it snowed that winter. So I was looking on Facebook Marketplace for a snowboard, or because mates were going skiing on the hills, and I was like, I want to get a new board, and then messaged some guy, and this guy was Tom, who was the guy that took us around for the races. So
yeah, because this is the guy you van lifed it with, basically.
Yeah. So all just from buying a snowboard. Then we're trying to haggle him at the time. So I met up with him and started talking bikes, and
wicked.
He had time off work. He had this Mark 1 1980s Red Master.
Amazing.
And then,
so was he planning to do the EWS before you guys met, or did you sort of talk him into it?
Pretty much talked him. I think he wanted to go follow the race series, and he just loves riding. He wasn't there to race. He was just there to have fun. So
nice.
He had time off work and had this van all converted.
Yeah. So off you go. And were you studying at that point as well, like at uni?
Yeah, I was at uni for that first year doing natural hazard management.
Yeah.
And then, and then deferred it.
Yeah. Was it hard to fit in like van life, racing and studying? I'd imagine that's a lot to take on. Yeah,
but it was all still online from COVID.
So
you could just knock away at your iPad and keep cracking. But it was hard to balance, but you do a lot of travel, you can always fit it in.
Yeah, fair play. So you're in under 21 at this point. It's your
first
time racing kind of away at these big races, I guess.
Yeah.
You went from being one from last at the first round to winning round 6. Talk me through that. How do you get from the back of the pack to the front of the pack in that fewer races? And they were head-to-heads as well, so the rounds were close. There wasn't a lot of learning time. Yeah.
No. Me and Tom went there with no idea what we were doing. We weren't sure what day to turn up. We were on a pretty loose program, just traveling Europe at the same time as racing.
Yeah.
And got to the first races. I think the first stage I got like a top 5 first ever. So you check on your phone. I thought it was the coolest thing, like the live time.
Yeah, it's pretty smart.
And then I think I just crashed out all the rest of the day.
Okay.
And I think I did break a mech that first race too.
Yeah.
So, but it's so different. It's my first time really riding abroad, and it was so different to here. That physical part of it was. So
you'd not even ridden outside of the UK?
No, I do all like family holidays, maybe rent a hardtail a day, but
you'd not been on a Morzine trip or anything like that?
No, I'd never been.
So you just went straight to EWS. Nice.
Yeah, and it was the bloody long tracks too.
Yeah.
And it was back to back again. So it was that same week it was in Kanazai.
Yeah.
And it was pro stage. I remember that rained out and got second in that on the pro stage. And then I think same again, just crashed all the next day.
Yeah, well,
just trying too hard. You're just at the race.
Yeah.
And I think
pretty standard.
Didn't really know my limits. And
younger rider mistakes, I guess, finding where your race pace actually is.
Yeah, and it was all new and figuring out the whole practicing and racing. It's different to here.
Yeah,
you can sort of rely on skill to do well, whereas when you're away, you've got to have that physical side.
Yeah. How was your fitness then? Were you like doing much? Like, did you have a coach? Were you doing much like specific training, or were you just riding a lot?
Just riding. Like from lockdown, it was all just riding. I'd be at the gym, but not with a coach or not with a planner. I think just to keep fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think I needed that strength more than anything.
Yeah, fair play. Did you have any support that year then, like with brands?
Again, Tom, should have mentioned maybe before, but Tom, the snowboard guy.
Yeah.
He's grown up with Ollie Blight, who's now the design engineer at
Forbidden.
Yeah.
That's the connection. Got it, yeah.
So when the day we bought the snowboard, he was like, oh, have you heard? He was like asking how I was going to do it. I just had my bike. I was funding it all south. And said, have you heard of Forbidden? I was like, yeah, it's a cool brand.
Yeah.
So he said he'd fire my name into the Canadian office with Ollie.
Okay.
So I like emailed the UK office and
they
heard the name from Tom and that, and pretty much from there they helped me out with the bike. So I was on the Forbidden Dreadnought on the first block of that season. So I got a bike, so that funded it, helped fund it too, because I could sell my old bike and then I raced on this bike that I got given, which is the Druid.
Yeah, that's a good start. That was purely like what do you think they were basing the decision to give you a bike on? Because at that point your results were all like UK based.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's not much.
Was your social big at that point?
No.
Okay.
So pretty grateful to be given the opportunity, because there wasn't much there other than a few Welsh races and stuff.
Fair play.
I know I had a few videos on Instagram, but I was never Name was never out there at all. So yeah,
cool.
Luck,
So,
maybe.
Yeah,
well, pretty much is luck. Yeah, from the snowboard.
Pretty solid first season. For getting a ride through Facebook Marketplace is the future. So that was 2021, wasn't it? That season.
Yeah. So we did them first 2 on the Druid, and then we came back for a month in summer.
Yeah.
And got a phone call. They got the Dreadnought waiting. I was like, oh,
here we go.
That's cool. Yeah. And then.
Do you think that helped in the results as well? Like to have that bit more burly, bit bigger travel?
Yeah, I think when you're away, you need it. I think, yeah.
Yeah, on those Euro tracks.
Yeah, you can get away with a lot more. And
and it's looking after you, right, on those long stages, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Because what the Druid's like 140, yeah?
130 the rear.
Okay, yeah.
We had a 160 fork on it.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels more, yeah. It was perfect, but just to have that bit more, yeah, you couldn't say no. So
nice.
Went back out, and then from there, results were a lot better with Tom,
For sure. And you finished, was it 4th overall in U21 that year?
Yeah, I think 4th overall.
Yeah. Nice.
From a pretty slow start.
Yeah. So how do we go from that season then to picking up like a full factory deal? Because 22 you were on the factory team, right?
Yeah, so first year elite, managed to be on the factory team, which is, again, a big eye-opener.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to
And
have.
was that all from their side, or were you kind of trying to push for that?
It's always your childhood dream, isn't it, to have your name on the side of a van? It's pretty cool. But all from there, so, I've pushed it, but they gave me the opportunity.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah,
so how big a change did that make? You've gone from like van life with the guy you met on Facebook Marketplace to factory team in 1 year. What changed for you other than having your name on your jersey and on the vans?
Just learning off others, like having Reese, who's done it for years, to sort of see how they properly race and practice, and the support. Yeah, having Ant-Man, mechanic, and Maddie, who's been doing it for I don't know how long.
Yeah,
all that.
Yeah. Some of the most experienced people. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was cool.
Did you do much pre-season with them for 22? Like, did you get a chance to get out to Canada or?
Not pre-season, no. Just
during the
all
season.
Stayed home, yeah. And then managed to go out all summer over at Canada and stuff. It was cool.
Sweet. And so was that intimidating then, taking that step up, not only to a factory team, but also from U21 to elite?
Yeah, but at the same time, they never put any pressure on first year elite.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where I'd end up. But because it changed a lot, I went down a size on the bike. And
okay. What was the driver for that? Were you on XL originally?
I was on a large Dreadnought.
Okay.
And on a medium.
Ah, fair play.
They're big bikes, but
and was that just like for maneuverability? Like, what made you drop that size?
Yeah, I think the last round at Inners.
Okay,
I changed it from there.
Yeah, fair.
Trying to nip around those trees.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I've always liked a smaller bike too, so the large is perfect, but in the medium, just a bit more maneuverable.
Okay. Yeah, and your style, I guess, is quite sort of light, flicky kind of.
Yeah, I think so.
Like to move a bike around underneath you.
Yeah, so we were back at Inleafing for the first one with the team.
Yeah,
and from there it was all go.
Yeah, and did you change your like structure coming over that winter? Like, did you pick up a trainer? Did you do more on that side of things? Yeah,
that winter that's when I deferred uni and to give it a proper go. Have all that support. May as well do it properly. So yeah, I had a coach, Neil, at Complete Performance, and just up the road. So it's an insane facility, and so come into it a lot more stronger. And
do you find that made a big difference? Definitely. Someone that knew how to program for you.
Having structure and working on all these imbalances you didn't even know you have. It helped for sure.
Yeah. How do you think that like manifests on the bike? Obviously, you're going to get less fatigued, but are there other things you've noticed being like stronger and fitter?
Maybe just it's always going to hurt, no matter how fit you are. It's going to hurt, but I think just having that bit more fitness, you can maybe go harder for that bit longer on the stage. Just feeling more comfortable maybe on the bike when you're that bit fitter.
Nice. So like you say, it kicked off in Inleafing in 2022. First race in elite, home soil effectively. And I'm pretty sure we saw you. We went up in April and did some like training, and I think you were up there making the most of the trails. Do you think it helps like having a bit of knowledge of like the tracks like that? Or I mean, when we were there, obviously there was no way of knowing what we were going to be racing, but do you think it helps?
Oh, if you know the terrain and you know the hill, then
Yeah.
it definitely helps. Like we always try and track walk before practice, because then you know what's coming in practice, sort of thing, and you can do practice, try and full run maybe, so it's like a race run, rather than being so blind in practice. You can learn from track walk, but knowing the hill and knowing what the tracks like, they're all pretty similar in it. So
you're going to know what your bike setup's like exactly. I suppose, and that sort of stuff. Yeah. So 25th, top 30 at your first elite race. You must have been pretty happy with that, I guess, even if it is like your local race in inverted commas.
Yeah, I was pretty stoked. I remember getting a decent stage time too, and that. So it's good to look at stage times too, and remember getting quite a good one. So I was pretty excited from there.
Yeah, it's a good way to kick off, isn't it?
Sure. It was good. Yeah.
And how did the rest of the season go for you then? Because it was kind of, I mean, looking at the results, up and down.
Yeah, a few ups and downs.
Yeah.
Maybe think from there, the 25th, you're dropping the last 30 at Petson, and with all these big names and people you've looked up to. So I think I just tried too hard and pushed maybe that bit too much, and a few crashes at the next round. But
do you feel the pressure then, being amongst all that, like you say, those riders you've looked up to?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Did you feel like you'd earned it or not really? Did you feel like you should or you shouldn't be there at that point? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was pretty much still learning that year. It's my only second year racing on the circuit, so I'd say, I said earned it.
Yeah.
But then I remember Moya had a shoulder injury, so he didn't do so well at Scotland.
Yeah.
I remember dropping behind him, just seeing... It was the big number one. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, no pressure here then. At least he's not behind you, I guess, following you down the tracks, but still. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just blowing it. But that year was good. There was a lot of goods to take from it,
Yeah, and it seemed to come together in Whistler. Did you spend a bit of time in Canada that summer, yeah?
Yeah, because Reese is Squamish, so we did this big road trip and we raced all the BC, well, not all of them. We did 3 BC downhills.
Nice.
So... like Fernie, Panorama, and
oh man,
Kicking
that
Horse.
Must have been so good.
Yeah, it was cool driving a whole of BC and how much it changed.
Yeah. And is that your first time out there as well?
Yeah, first time out. And before that, we were over at Quebec, Bromont.
At Matty's.
Yeah. So it was a good summer.
Yeah,
cool.
Not bad.
And then managed to get the week in Whistler on A-line before the race. So much bike time helped, I think.
Yeah. Well, 26th, another solid top 30.
Yeah, for somewhere where you'd not been before, I think.
And also a place where there are a lot of like locals racing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, riders like Remy, Jesse, ALN, like all go super well there. I think it's hard to have a good result in Whistler maybe.
Yeah, I'd say so. The tracks have all been ridden a lot, and it's hard to remember when they're all really long. So hard to remember the whole track, but it worked out pretty well.
Nice. And Sugarloaf was a good one for you as well. 22nd, best result up to that point.
In that year, yeah, that was a good race. There was not much pedaling, and there's a storm coming, I remember, so every stage was like lifted.
Yeah.
And top to bottom, there was not much pedaling. It was rooty, steep, pretty much like here.
Yeah.
It was ideal. It rained too, so.
I was going to say, is that the one that was quite slippery?
Yeah. And it was, I'm going to get a 12th in the pro stage. I was like, I'll just stay on the bike tomorrow.
That's incredible.
Could be like trying to get that top 10, but 22nd, I remember coming off too. It was pretty happy with that, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good race.
So wrapping up the season, like how did you feel about 2022, your first elite year?
Oh, good. No, I was happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of change, and just happy to have all the support and opportunity and make so many memories in that year was cool.
Nice. So what do you do then at the end of a season to look at like what you want to try and get done in the off season? Does that make sense? Like how do you prioritize, right, I think maybe I'm weak here or I need to improve this? Like what sort of stuff do you do to reflect and then plan your off season?
Yeah. Look where you didn't do very well the races that previous year.
Yeah.
It's like what stages and stuff, and
so you're going into a stage by stage
kind of level. To see where you're losing time. The times are so tight now.
Yeah.
You've got to sort of pick out where you can get them seconds, and I think for me it's always been maybe the pedally bit, so just trying to ride track. It's hard here because there's not super long tracks, but trying to ride them fatigued.
Okay, so like sprinting into the top of a trail, like
yeah, trying to just be that bit more tired on the track and learn how to ride tired, and bike setup too.
Yeah.
Just always trying to figure out. I was always fast and hard, which is all right for here, but you're not holding on to it when you go away. So
okay,
just softened up and
yeah.
So
trying to find a balance of a supportive setup, but something that's going to be a bit forgiving over a long day.
Just get used to one sort of setup.
Yeah.
For the whole year, because tracks you can't really be changing it. Just
okay.
I think just be comfortable on one softer maybe setup. And
so will you ride? Yeah, you'll ride that softer setup even if you're just like sessioning a day here, kind of thing now, or will you still stiffen up like when you're riding shorter days at home?
No, I always. Maybe when I go to the bike park, I might put a bit of a heavy coil on or a few more clicks. But
yeah.
No, I try and stay the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get familiar with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nice. And you rode a bit more skate park like in the more recent off seasons. Is that a relatively new thing for you? Because looking at your riding, I just assumed you'd probably grown up riding park, but
no, that's new. Yeah, got a jump bike and then cold nights. I think a few boys with me up at the skate park, and yeah, it's really good. It's just good for skills, I think, and just for laughs too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, and strength, I guess. Like long session skate park's pretty tiring.
It gets your legs. Yeah, you're going around pumping everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's good for that.
So how did you feel like in your early season prep this year? Did you feel like you were in a better spot?
Yeah, I felt a lot better. Had more time in the gym, more time on the bike.
Yeah.
A few more trips this winter too. So yeah, I felt a lot more ready for the season, I think. Yeah.
Do you do like any pre-season stuff with Forbidden? It's hard to get all you guys together, I guess.
Yeah, with us being so spread out, it's quite hard. So no, I just got a few trips. I got a trip to Finale in the week just to ride, just for bike time.
Just some dry trails.
Yeah, and just ride. Yeah, just try and get as much bike time as you can in, I think.
Yeah, nice. Let's talk about those first couple of rounds. But first, let's talk about one of your teammates. Connor Fearon, like a man that's been on the downhill circuit for what feels like forever.
A true legend.
An absolute legend of the sport. Flat pedal boy as well. What's it been like having Connor as a teammate? Eh?
Oh, unreal. I managed to ride with him a week at Bromont last year, but it was quite quick, a quick visit. And so I managed to get out over to his like a month or so earlier.
Nice.
So a few weeks at his house and riding his trails. Oh, it's insane to follow. It's just everywhere, inside out. Oh yeah, it's cool to follow and train with him.
Yeah,
and we had Ant-Man out there too, and it was just fun.
Yeah, because Ant-Man's a team mechanic, but he's also pretty fast.
Anthony, yeah. Oh, he's a bloody good rider. Yeah, yeah, he's fast. So we just rode every day.
Yeah.
There's a nice event near Connors too, so might do a race before we went over to Tassie, which helps get back between the tapes. And
definitely.
Yeah, it's good.
Do you think you've learnt much from Connor? Like, I'd say he's one of the fastest round a turn anywhere in the world. But
yeah, to follow him and to sort of see how he sets up a bike and goes about things. He's real laid back, but he knows when to turn on. So yeah, I tell you can learn a lot off him. Yeah, we did.
Super pro.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
I guess fairly handy having him to follow at Medina, right? Like he knows that place from racing.
Yeah, he'd been there, not heaps, but he'd been there a few times before. Yeah. So we went there a week before. The tracks were already announced, so we just rode what we could.
Yeah.
And I could follow him and watch his GoPros from the tracks when he did race it. So
okay,
we had a bit of help. Yeah. And Timmy Eaton too, he'd been there a good few times. So yeah, it's good having them sort of toes up to speed on the track because it was so different to anything else, really, Medina. So
yeah, how would you describe Medina? Like it looked sick from the coverage.
It was probably the best place, one of the best places. Yeah, just different from the top. It was like a fast sort of flatter top, rocky, and then it just went steep. It just
properly steep.
Yeah, there was a good few steep bits. Yeah, and then it would go back into bike parks. So there's a lot. It was different, but the bits, the middle sections that we really liked, it was like sort of narrow, tight, rooty, tech. So,
and a fair bit of line choice in some spots.
Yeah. On stages there was a good bit of line choice, which is always good.
How do you work through that? Because like you're so limited. You've got the potential to walk some stuff. You've got one practice run, and then you're in. Like, how are you narrowing down where the best lines are. I guess it helps having some previous GoPro and stuff, but you still don't know where the tape's going to be.
Exactly, yeah. Well, we've always filmed, me, Reese and Connor filmed our runs and Emmy, so we always like watch each other's GoPros together, and because we take different lines without even knowing.
Okay.
And then sort of whatever you're comfortable with, or we'll talk about it just from the laptop, just watching the GoPro.
Will you go as far as like checking the time for lines from different people's GoPro, or is that going a bit too much?
Not really, no. Just how it looked and how it set you up for that next bit.
Yeah.
I'd say I stop more than Reese. Reese likes to do like a top to bottom practice run, which it works. But I say I stop a bit more, look at lines, and then I can get them. We can just watch each other's GoPro.
Yeah. And are you stopping when you see something that interests you, or are you stopping when you ride through a bit and think, oh, maybe that wasn't perfect, like maybe there's a better line? Like what triggers you to stop?
If you like ride something and you're sort of dead in this corner, you must have missed a high, or you might see something in the corner of your eye. So if it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't right.
Okay.
But then saying, always just try and find, like, there will be a bit of a corner. Or
if it felt janky, there's probably a better way to do it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. We try and practice a bit later too, so when it's be dug in by the time we sort of try and practice. So.
Yeah. And how was your race?
Pretty good, first one back. Yeah, I was happy.
Best ever result?
Best ever, yeah.
13th.
Yeah, it was cool. The whole day was really good. Team was on fire.
You absolutely crushed it, right?
Yeah.
Connor in third, Reese in fourth, Emmy won under 21s.
Yeah.
Team of the day?
Team of the day. Yellow
First
plate.
time?
Yeah, it was good.
How does that work? Like, is there a podium for team of the day? Like,
yeah, there's then it just goes off points of each rider. I'm not too sure how it works, but I imagine points of each rider, and there's a podium at the end of all the podiums, and you get your yellow plate, and then next race you have the yellow plate on the. Yeah, it's cool.
That's pretty cool.
But Connor did well. Reese was the first non-Aussie.
Yeah.
And Emmy won, so couldn't have gone much better.
Stoked. What do you think, like, where's the difference for you from like a good 20th odd position to a good 13th position, like last year to this year? What made that step? I'm
not too sure. Like that first stage of the year didn't feel great. Like,
okay.
I remember getting at the bottom, and because it was finished at the finish arena, the first stage, and it was, I think I was the fastest time then. So, and it stuck pretty well. So, but it didn't feel amazing.
Yeah.
First stage, you're riding tight, and it didn't feel great. But Reese has always said his best stages are when he's on that limit, making mistakes, and Reese says if he gets down and it's feel like a smooth, clean run, it probably isn't the best time.
Okay, fair.
So
that's quite often the other way around for people.
Yeah, I know. But and it sort of makes sense. Like I was on the limit, I think, and was just trying to get top to bottom as fast, and it sort of worked quite well. And then saw that and pretty much kept the momentum going all day.
Yeah,
a few spills, but it's good.
All good. Yeah. So what do you think you could have got there on a perfect day then? Are we talking top 10s?
Didn't look at the times, but
okay.
You can always say, can't you? But it's hard to know. You're always going to make a few mistakes. It's hard to get a clean run when you're doing 40 minutes of racing. So.
Yeah, and there's way more than 10 people that are very capable of being in the top 10.
So and a lot of people would have made
yeah.
mistakes there because it was pretty full on.
Yeah, and it was a bit of a different field order than we'd expect to see, right? A lot of like the downhillers,
Troy did well,
and like Jesse and Jack, and some of the bigger names that we'd expect maybe struggle a little bit at that opener.
I wouldn't say they're anything skill wise. I don't know, maybe not had the best of luck, but the downhill boys would have gone well there. Yeah. Well, Luke did very well too. So just because it was a lot downhill focused, and they're always the best ones, I think. And then it was a bit of a change when we went to Derby. Yeah,
but you must have come in with a big dose of confidence though, coming off a result like that the first round.
Yeah, just wanted to try and back it up, and when we're at the back of the pack too with the top boys. Yeah. It's crazy how much the atmosphere changes
with the yellow plate on as well.
Yeah, the yellow plate.
No pressure.
But it was just a lot more pedally, and that's
I was going to say, if you looked at images, you'd say maybe it would suit you. Like
the tracks, the riding was insane. Yeah. It's a cool spot. the rocks were these grippiest things ever. It was cool, but
yeah,
them bits didn't really matter when you had 4 minutes pedaling beneath it.
It was that much kind
it
of...
was just a lot of like traversing, and felt like it was never ending.
Was it fun though? Or?
It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always like racing, so yeah, it was fun. It was good. Practice was a real mudder, which was good. And then sort of dried up for the race, but yeah, it ran well.
Yeah. And 34th, happy?
Yeah, it's okay. I got a bit of a flat 2 on stage 5, so.
Okay. Was that one of the longer ones?
No, stage 6. That's one of the long ones.
Yeah.
But because they change it now at the end, they reorder the last 30, so I had time to get to the pits, change the tyre.
Okay.
And reseeded and went up for the last stage. It was, I badly won again. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. And thoughts on the new format? Like, has much changed as far as you, like, from your experience, other than the reseed?
And the no pro stage, so
yeah,
I quite like. It means you have that Saturday off to watch your practice and refresh a little, ready for Sunday.
Do you feel like because of that, having that whole day off, you're able to attack more on the race day? Do you think it makes the racing more like intense in a way?
Yeah, I'd say so. When it was pro stage, you sort of take that time to watch the pro stage, whereas now you can watch all of them and even maybe go walk what you did yesterday. So yeah, I'd say you can maybe know the tracks a bit more than I did previous year.
Yeah.
So yeah, say it makes it that bit more faster,
slightly faster paced racing, which is all good, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's really good.
And did it feel different from like, media coverage, branding, that side of things, or does it seem pretty similar?
The finisher area, the arena at the bottom, the finish bowl is a lot better, I think. Now.
Okay.
It's like a big screen and there's cameras, and we had to do these green screen stuff for the Warner Bros. So yeah, it's definitely, I'm not too sure how much better it is broadcast. Like back home, I still think it's hard to.
Yeah, it was hard to follow.
Yeah.
I think the highlights videos have improved.
Yeah.
And the one from Derby was out like pretty quick, to be fair, like considering the quality of it. But I don't know. I hope there's a bit more kind of coming, maybe some behind the scenes stuff. And
I think at the races it's a lot better.
Yeah.
It's on that big screen.
I
think it is better at the races, but yeah, maybe back home, I think.
Yeah.
Could do. Yeah.
It's not the easiest one to cover.
No, exactly. It's hard.
It feels like there's some energy going into making it better for everyone. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
To see.
Nice. So, I mean, you've been racing enduro for a few years now. I think it's fair to say that like your social following is increasing more because people love watching you ride a bike than they are interested in your race results. You've clearly got a talent and an incredible style, which I guess that opens up options for you, right? There's the sort of content creation side, free ridey side of things versus racing. They can both offer opportunities. Like, how do you look at that? Like, why is enduro racing it feels like where you've focused your efforts?
Oh yeah, I've definitely like focus on training and riding. Then the whole content sort of like video projects we get to do with Cal and Philpott over the winter and make a few videos I enjoy it. Like I've not properly made one, sort of just focus on the video.
Yeah.
It's always been a day off here and there from training, but it'd be cool to dig something brand new and really focus on a video.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
But I always do love shooting.
Yeah, what would a dream video project look like for you?
Probably a track that's never been shot on before.
Uh-huh.
And you can make it like that bit jibby and sort of tight.
Who would you want to film it? Have you got people you like working with or that you haven't worked with but would like to work with?
Cal and Philpott, Chap Studios, he's unreal. He's a good rider himself, so he knows what looks good and what doesn't. And I remember last winter we grafted on this hip, but it didn't work.
Oh, no.
So it'd be cool to go back to that spot and try and get something new out of him.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool. Yeah, he's good.
And are there other riders that you'd like to take with you? Are there like particular riders that you'd like to session with that, like, I always think about that segment of Rat Boy and Brendan from Death Grip. Is there a combo that you'd like to put together?
Probably local boy Joe Smith would be sick.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, flat pedals, just because he's sort of like love like a good drifter corner too, some tight tech.
Yeah.
Be cool to do something with Joe.
Yeah, it would. We don't see enough of Joe these days.
No,
I
I know.
Like, on video, he's a sick rider.
When I go ride him, it's cool to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sick.
That would be fun. And so I interviewed Leo Smith recently, Lando Steezy.
Oh, yeah.
Who mentioned that perhaps like Brendan and Sam Reynolds, Sam Pilgrim are making content for middle-aged riders. And so I asked him like who we should be looking at, who are the up-and-coming talents that are creating interesting stuff. Your name came up.
Oh, sick. Yeah, I did. Someone did mention that, yeah, so that's sick.
It must feel...
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I like Lando. He's a good rider. Met with him at skate park in winter too, and watching him move a little bike is
insane talent. Hey,
yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good to watch. No, that's cool.
Do you think about that side of things? Like, are you conscious about what you're presenting, like from a social content perspective, or is it pretty organic?
Never really like to put something out that's just for the sake of posting, sort of thing.
Okay, that's good.
Like, yeah, I always try and make it something that's good to watch or different maybe, but yeah, you see too much of the same stuff these days, I think.
Yeah.
On Instagram, so yeah, try and make things a bit different. Maybe less is more. I don't not really nailed it. I think
I'd rather see less, but it be a banger every time.
Yeah,
you post,
for me anyway, I think. But yeah, everyone's each their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find it hard to like strike a balance then between that focus on racing, because it feels like racing is the number one thing for you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But like balancing like that social side, that growth, that profile, because that is important. I think that's that's probably a big part of why Forbidden support you, right? Like clearly the results, you're capable of getting amazing results in enduro, but also, like say, very good to watch. So
yeah, I always like session at the end of a ride. So
yeah.
It's never a chore to get some iPhone clips. It's always fun. Like, if something feels good, we'd like stop and take time to film, and
it
never feels like you have to do it, but it's good to like watch back at something that you're happy with. And so we always do try and shoot a few things when we ride, but never set a sort of film day sort of thing. Just ride, and if I'm with my brother, with my mates, we can pull out the phone and just get a few on that.
Get some clips.
Yeah.
Do you think you could ever see your career going more down that like content creation side of things?
Not too sure. Not really thought of that, but for now it's always racing, I think.
Yeah.
I do love it. But yeah, I'd be keen to do a few more video projects and stuff in the future. It'd be fun.
Cool. Yeah. And any event, like non-race events that you'd like to ride at that you could see yourself being a part of at some point?
I do want to tick off these trans races. Blind racing.
Yeah.
That looks really fun. I don't know, I've always said hardline, but
really
pretty sick.
Yeah. Have you been?
Not a bit. I've been, but not anything, not road anything. So
yeah,
be cool to get some big forks and give it a go. Yeah.
Insane. Well, yeah. So I was going to ask actually, like you say, your love for bikes, we think came partly because of speed and enjoyment of speed, and the pinnacle of that within our sport is still downhill, I think.
Oh, yeah.
What made you go towards the enduro side rather than the downhill side?
I think just because that was my first race. That's the first we found, I think.
Okay.
And because never tried downhill. It was always enduro for the first couple of years. I don't know why I never switched. I think just because I had one bike and the bike that did it all. And we enjoyed the big pedal days and with your mates, and done a few downhill races now, just on the enduro rig. But
you're riding for a team that has like a downhill side to it, and there is now a downhill bike from Forbidden. Is it tempting?
It's tempting. Yeah. It's tempting.
Have you got one or not?
I've not yet. I know, but it looks a beast.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah,
but no, I would like to dip my feet into some down like properly on a big bike.
Yeah.
Would be good.
Hard line for your first downhill race then,
Maybe not. It's just so much different riding downhill race and riding that same track for like 2-3 days. You can sort of like nail, whereas enduro, you're riding what comes to you. It's downhill, you know everything.
Yeah.
It's different. There's a lot more maybe waiting around from what I've done. So that's why I like enduros at the minute, just because you're on your bike all day.
Yeah, tons of bike time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Watch this space. You're a flat pedal rider, yeah?
Yeah, flat pedals. I think I tried clips for like 3 days.
How did it go?
What
made you try them in the first place? Like,
it It was probably Reese.
Okay.
Probably teammate Reese Burner, just saying he needs to get on clips, and so I tried him for like a week in the winter up here.
Yeah.
On the hill, and
not the place, is
not
it?
the place. No, I just couldn't corner. I don't know. I didn't stick to it long enough.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know, when I ride, I like to ride for fun.
Yeah.
Properly. So.
Do you think there's any downside to flats at an enduro race these days, or do you think you can mitigate those downsides?
I think, yeah, and the pedals maybe over the rough stuff, but there's no point in me having them if I can't even corner the bike. So
yeah, fair.
I just couldn't get used to it.
Yeah,
coming off, and it was. Then I got told I need to wind the pins down on the pedals. I didn't do, but it's a bit too late now. I think.
Fair
Stick
play.
to flats.
Yeah. What flats are you running?
We're on the Deity pedals and the 510.
Okay.
Stealth rubber, which is pretty much the perfect
Which
combo.
Deity pedal is it?
The T-Max.
T-Max.
Yeah. With the big pins.
Yeah, I've heard good
me
things.
and Connor put the big pins in.
Yeah. You don't want to put one in your shin, but.
Nah, shins do get cut, but I'd rather that than my elbows.
Yeah,
on the clips.
Fair.
Yeah.
All good. So I've heard you say in the past that you've got an endless motivation to ride bikes. Where do you think that comes from?
I think just as a kid, it was never serious. It was never taken serious. We'd always just ride for fun, and Dad would never put too much pressure on me on the trials bike. So
yeah,
I know I've always it's never been, I have to go ride. It's always, I want to go ride. So
yeah,
after school in the summer, try and get as much to kind of local woods before it gets dark, and always just loved it. Yeah.
Nice. Have you ever struggled with the motivation to ride? Like,
not really. Maybe it's a really wet day, but when I'm saying that, I love that. No, I wouldn't say I have.
Yeah.
No. Always just keen to ride.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a point in your racing so far where it's been a bit harder to access the fun? Do you know what I mean?
No, I wouldn't say so. No, our team works so well. It's such a good atmosphere, and we all just love riding as much each other. So, no, I wouldn't say I've lost the fun at all. No.
Yeah.
No, it's always,
even when there's a bit more pressure of maybe like following Jack Moore down the stage or whatever, you're still managing to enjoy.
You put pressure on yourself, and yeah, it may be a bit stressful during the race, but then after the race, after a good day on the bike, it comes after maybe. But
yeah,
it's always fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
So hopes for the rest of the season. You got a bit of a break now before the next round.
Bit of a break for finale, then actually managed to squeeze in a trip end of May to Bromont.
Ah, nice.
So we're gonna go there for just under 2 weeks, I think. Go see Matty and Ant-Man, ride Bromont, and nothing else much planned. There's the British up at Tweed end of this month.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. Always try and do as many races as you can.
Yeah.
Now off to finale.
Hey,
should be good.
And what are your hopes? Like, you've got close to that top 10. Is that something you'd like to try and tick off this season?
Yeah, definitely like to try and tick that top 10 off.
Yeah.
Give it all to try and crack into there. Yeah.
Nice. And anything you want to clean up from those first 2 rounds? Like, did you feel like your training's where you want it to be? Like, any changes to make?
But just back in the gym, just try and get as strong as we can.
Yeah. Do you think you're still making like good gains on that side if you're only a few years into like the whole gym side of things?
Yeah,
like,
and numbers too.
Yeah.
We're on the watt bike with Neil, and
so is it watts you're measuring mainly, or
FTP and stuff?
Okay.
All that sort of stuff. It's just another. That's why it's so motivated, 'cause it's just gone. It's gone up. So
yeah,
just try and get as much as that in. Wouldn't change anything on the bike. Bike's comfy. So yeah, pretty keen to get stuck in again.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Looking forward to it, man. Well, we'll wrap up with our final 4 questions. First one of those: if our listeners had £150 to spend to improve their performance or their enjoyment on a bike, what would you recommend they go spend it on?
150.
Get some nice flat pedals.
Yeah, that's definitely one. Yeah.
Get
some good pedals and some good 510, the rubber, some good shoes. See so many people with their feet like
heels.
Yeah, I think it's half the
about.
battle if you can have confidence where your feet are.
Yeah, agreed.
I think like fuel too.
Okay.
Spend it on fuel. Try and ride as many places as you can.
Yeah,
different terrain, different things. I think if you can get good at tech, steep, bike park.
Yeah,
I think you'd spend it on trying to get to new places. And maybe brakes too.
Okay.
Yeah.
What brakes are you running?
We're SRAM
Okay.
code.
Yeah. Do you do anything special to them, or like stock pads and all that?
Oh, everything's stock. Yeah, I just like the bike say close to the grip than many.
Yeah. Does that man like that request?
He's the same.
Yeah.
Connor's worse. His are basically touching the grip.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, he's used to it. But yeah, I say brakes. I remember that school hardtail had good brakes. And I thought, you can just one finger. I remember that cable and you see people with two fingers. It's no good.
Not good.
No. Yeah, that.
Okay, nice. Second one, if you could wind the clock back and sit down with yourself age 16, what advice would you give him? And you're only just getting into it at that point, right?
Yeah, it was being my first year on a full sus, so probably just keep at it, keep having fun.
Yeah.
It's not much I'd really change. Just
it's worked out pretty well so far.
Yeah, just keep riding with your mates and
and keep on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, keep scrolling that. You never know what you're gonna find.
You never know what you'll get.
Yeah.
All right, third one. If you could have a coaching session from anyone, past or present, who would it be, and what would you want to learn from them?
I always thought about this. It's a bit basic to say Sam Hill.
I mean,
everyone's going to say Sam Hill.
It's what most people have said. What would you want to learn from Sam? Let's just find that out first before we get
probably his like flat corners, how he makes that look like he's just
on a rail.
Yeah, so just knows what the bike's doing beneath him and knows when he should grip drift. So yeah, be some flat pedal riders like Sam, Connor.
Yeah,
would be cool to do like a proper session with him because he's so at one with it too. Yeah, Joe Smith.
Yeah,
he's got so much experience. He's good at pretty much everything. So
yeah, he's a smart kid.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick.
Nice. All right, last one. What do you do every day that you feel benefits you?
On the bike or just
in life? Yeah, there's certain things that are like almost a ritual for you that you think helps.
Don't have so much like structure to anything really. Even nutrition, always try and keep on top of that.
Yeah. How do you approach that? Have you got like a simple framework that you work to?
Just make sure you're getting what you need, enough protein. And
I read somewhere that your breakfast always involves eggs.
Oh yeah, that's a good egg. And maybe just social side, like I think if you're not happy, if you're not with your mates and stuff or having fun, I think you're not going to be doing like performing your best. Or
does most of your riding involve other people? Do you ride with mates more than you ride solo?
Nah, not even, no, because in the week is mainly just me, but I do try and just like keep in touch, and social side is always a thing I try and do. There's not much else really, no
fair.
Secrets or anything.
All good, man. Well, it's been a real pleasure finding out a bit more about you. I think there's an exciting future ahead. I'm looking forward to seeing where it all goes down both the racing and the content creation side. If people haven't seen you riding a bike, they bloody should. Where can they follow you?
Probably Instagram, Alex_Storr01.
Nice. I'll put a link in the show notes.
That would be sick. And
there's a few edits out there. I'll stick some links in the show notes.
I'll check on like the YouTube and stuff. Is probably the best place.
And was there a Vital Raw? Have you shot?
Shot a Vital Raw with Tommy up at Llangollen. So. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'll stick links in there so people can catch up with your riding escapades. But yeah, best of luck for the rest of the season, man.
Cheers, Chris.
Thanks for coming over.
Thanks very much.
Wicked. Cheers, man.
Legend. Cheers.